Now, that's where we have to start the issues this morning. We're starting on the subject of whether there's a growing culture of intolerance. Just yesterday, the Minister of Information, Kojo Ponkroma, famously, he used to be a practicing journalist, of course. He's also a legal practitioner. He said that across the political divide, as well as the various facets of our society, we have a growing culture of intolerance. And so it should not only be that this blame should be on the ruling MPP or the governing MPP and its supporters or those in government, but that within the political landscape, this is what we have. But we also know that this is coming on the back of that invasion by tax of the MPP, who, if you look at the official position they hold, are youth leaders, and we're told in the Greater Accra region. Of course, the party has condemned the action, but what is this culture now creeping in? And you'll remember there were a number of members of what used to be known as the Delta Force. They're still around because there's a video that has emerged in which some of them based in Kumasi said they were supporting Kenny Japan, etc., where they invaded a certain court, and the judge, we're told at the time, was pregnant, and subsequently we saw no insight to the case because a nolle prosequi was filed, etc. And then since then, we've had a number of instances. Kenny Japan himself displayed a picture of Ahmed Swale, and then subsequently, we've had a number of concerns. For example, personally, myself, Johnny, we get these calls all the time. We seem to think that it's a normal thing. Trolling on social media is part of the growing lack of tolerance in our political space. Why should we be worried? And to help us with the discussion this morning, I have just straight in front of me a former High Commissioner of Ghana to India, Ambassador Sampi Yali. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
He's also a lawyer as well. And then I have Amidu Chinia Isahaku. He currently is a Deputy Sanitation Minister, but currently also the Member of Parliament for Sisala West. And so for all constituents... Okay. Sisala East. Let me correct that again. Amidu Chinia Isahaku, Member of Parliament for Sisala East. Let me not change the constituency name. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
And Bernard Mona is former chair of the PNC. Thank you for joining me as well. Now, the subject of growing intolerance may, within the corridors of the governing MPP, Ms. Amidu, has it been noticed that this is a concern?
Well, good morning, and good morning to my colleague panelists, to the people of Sisala East who are representing Parliament. Of course, I mean, it's a national concern, and the MPP party cannot be an exception because it's a concern that is observed on a regular basis across the political divide. And every believer of democracy must be concerned about it. It happens from time to time. On most of the occasions, not sanctioned by the party as an entity, but individuals within the party take the laws into their hands and commit certain crimes that should not be accepted. But I think the worrying part of it should be how we deal with the matters when they come up. Because as for irregular behavior, even in our homes, it comes from time to time. But how you deal with it is where the challenge is, in my view, that as political parties and as a government, probably we are not dealing with this irregular behavior the way they should be dealt with. And that is why we should be looking at going forward. In the specific case of the UTV incident, already you know the party's position. It's not something that was sanctioned by the party, and the party has condemned it. The party has indicated its displeasure about the happening. And of course, it was the information minister who, when he got the information, called the IGP to report and to ask for the arrest of those who were involved, and it was accordingly, they were accordingly arrested. And subsequently, the information minister called the media house to check whether the host and the panelists were safe and whether there was any support that ought to be given to them, and the indication was that everything was okay. I mean, they were not directly attacked, even though the individuals were in the premises or in the building, but they did not get to the host and the panelists, and so there was not that physical contact between them and the host and the panelists. Subsequently to the regional chairman of the MPP, the director of communication and other officials of the party have visited the station to apologize to those who were involved and to give some assurances of the support of the party and to distance the party from the incident and all that. So clearly the party has indicated its position as far as this irregular behavior is concerned. But like I said earlier, what we need to look at as a country is how we deal with these matters so that it becomes a deterrent to future occurrences. I think that is where we are having issues. But let me also hasten to say that sometimes the way the media, the way we respond to some of these incidences, as much as we agree that the behavior was irregular, unacceptable, unlawful, and all that, but the conduct of media houses also ought to be questioned.
What do you mean by that? Because
the impression is being created as though because freedom of the media, freedom of expression is guaranteed under the Constitution, it means that nobody should have any question about how things are handled within the media space. It cannot be so.
Okay.
I mean,
Mr. Amidu, let me just read this.
I am coming.
Article 162, you go to 4, it says, editors and publishers of newspapers and other institutions of the mass media shall not be subject to control or interference by government, nor shall they be penalized or harassed for their editorial opinions and views. And I'm emphasizing editorial opinions and views or the content of their publications. And we also know that there are certain redresses or remedies that have been made in law. So at least I know what the norm has been was that until the last seven years, you have to go to the National Media Commission. You get a read. If you're not satisfied and you feel that you still feel aggrieved, you can still go to court.
You see, that is one of the areas I personally have issues with.
You are saying the framers of our Constitution?
No. The framers of the Constitution have no problem.
Okay.
It is.
But you have the problem with what the framers...
No, we the interpreters. There is no article in the Constitution that operates in isolation.
True.
There is no one article that operates. I mean, you have them backing each other.
True.
What you have just read, that is the case. But it does not also mean that can you come and sit here because of you have the right guaranteed under the Constitution to have your editorial policy the way you want it, to say that I am going to kill Amidi Chenya. Can you do that? Because the Constitution guarantees you. Can you do that? There are limitations.
True.
There are other regulations or laws within the same Constitution that regulate this one that you have read.
I see.
And when you look at it, the MPP party, after observing certain things that were going on a particular show on UTV, wrote officially.
I see.
You can disagree with the content of the letter, but the party writing officially to make a claim does not also, the Constitution doesn't also bar the party from writing to a media station to make a request or to make a demand. It's not unconstitutional too.
To make a request and make a demand.
Yes, you are not directing the media as to what they should do, but you are also raising concerns. And it is the right of any individual or any party to raise concerns about your show. I cannot come here and start attacking, insulting you, or come and start misbehaving, but I can write to you and say that, yes, I have observed this, your program. I have these observations. I have this disagreement. It is my right. You can disagree with my disagreement, but you cannot also say that I don't have the right to officially write to you to state what I don't agree with you. So if the party writes to UTV on their concerns about a program and the content of the program, I mean, you cannot say on the basis of this provision in 162 that the party doesn't have right to demand that the way you
including invasion. Look at your
no,
party
as for the
members.
invasion, we all say it's unacceptable. I mean, it cannot be right. Your right to demand the right thing to be done does not mean you can infringe on somebody's right. Now, let me state this: that TV3, you have a host of programs, and everybody knows the nature of every program. For instance, you have Ghana Most Beautiful. Ghana Most Beautiful is a program. It's not a political program, isn't it? You have entertainment program. You have sports programs. So if it gets to a point that TV3 turns Ghana Most Beautiful into a political show, that you now discuss politics more than even the intended purpose of the program, and somebody calls or writes to you to question that, oh, this is your Ghana Most Beautiful program that you have been doing, which is a social program, more or less an entertainment program. Almost all your panelists and almost all your programs these days has turned political. You have found a way.
Are you equating the Ghana Most Beautiful show or the program?
It's an example I'm giving.
Okay, because they are not the same.
This particular program on UTV is a showbiz program, isn't it? It's an entertainment program.
It's an entertainment.
Yes, listen.
Review program.
Yes. So
policy,
occasionally you can't take politics out of any program.
Great.
But where politics become the center continuously,
I see.
It means that
Okay.
you must find a way of giving equal opportunity to political parties to have their say.
We know that the Ministry of Information also condemned in all categorical terms this very attack. But also the ministry saying that, well, we have a creeping culture of intolerance. One of the consistent panelists on the UTV showbiz program is on stream currently, and A+ has joined us. Kwame, good morning to you.
Kwame, good morning, Roland.
Yeah, great. Now, is it your understanding that your appearance on the United Showbiz program has had a political objective by way of the discussions you had, Kwame?
I don't see anything wrong with that. When I had a call from United Television. The speaker was not there. When we were designing the show, the person you were speaking to was not there. I had a call from UTV, and the call was that Mark Brown and myself are going to start a show called United Showbiz. We started the show. The very first day that we turned on that show, I was on the show with Mark Brown. When we were discussing what we were going to do on that show, the speaker was not there. And even if we decide to turn it into a political show, like Kevin Taylor does, no political party must feel entitled or must demand to be there because we have turned it into a political show. How is that anybody's business? Is this UT? Is it GBC? Where we demand fair representation. This is United Television, it's a private TV station. Unless anybody is telling us that when Trinidadians is doing a live show, and because he has said that he's going to have a Facebook live sessions, immediately he's going to talk about football. Anytime he starts talking about politics, MPP should go to him and say that now when you talk, let us do talk some more. What kind of mentality is this? And if I have to, if a letter was written to a television station, an official letter, look, some of these things, I don't like people playing mischief. If an official letter was written to a television station, it is called protest. Tearing, even if it is the original one I ripped apart, it is called protest. It is a form of protest. And if I am protesting and you are not happy about it, you cannot go and read. It is in the criminal code. Everybody in showbiz or whatever can decide to be who they want to be. People can be naive. I am a law student. I have a master's. I have a bachelor's. I'm not an illiterate too. People here, look, I am well lettered than your deputy interior minister and a host of them. Can you are telling us that I ripped a letter apart, and so what? It is a form of protest, and there is nowhere in the laws of Ghana where you can get up and because you are not happy about something, you go and attack, you go and unlawfully enter somebody's premises, and you have people who have been to school finding ways to defend this. And that's the same character they bring into public service. When we were doing a Doomsor Must Stop, it was okay. The language was beautiful. When we were attacking John Mahama, it was beautiful. The language was good. Today, when it affects NPP, everybody finds a way. Let's do national cohesion. We were in this country. When people when something happened in Diamond, at Dabon, FM, or whatever, in the north, did the minister talk about national cohesion? No. Nobody spoke about cohesion.
Okay.
The ministry was straightforward to the issue, dealt with the issue. When it gets to MPP tax going to misbehave, then we polish it.
All right. So you are saying, okay, I'll come back to you. Mr. Sampi, please still be on the stream for us, Kwame. Mr. Sampi, he seems to say that he has a right to undertake what he does because he feels rather the culture of intolerance has been deepened under the Akufo-Addo-led administration. What do you say to this?
Well, Roland, good morning. Good morning to analysts. But before I answer your question, I urge the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to immediately take steps to evacuate all Ghanaians that have been caught in the crossfire between Israel and Palestine. Because the movement I have seen and the intention of one of the factions is that they are going to be very, very ruthless. And we have a responsibility as a country to make sure that our citizens are protected in such crossfires. And we should also desist from unwittingly taking sides. You know, I have seen the statement by the Foreign Affairs Ministry, and I think it was in such a bad taste. Because in this turmoil where your citizens are currently trapped, you don't raise certain tensions or show bias which will be against, you know, some people take that, oh, your country is against our call and they would attack our people.
Okay.
This is a diplomatic error and the minister should better change the strategy. What I'm thinking is that today or tomorrow, a plane from Ghana will go and land and maybe at Tel Aviv or somewhere to bring the Ghanaians home. And if Ghana government has any issues with whatever is going on, they should address it at the United Nations. You know, these letters that we are writing, supporting one side or not, does not make any sense to me.
Okay.
Now, my second plea is for Minister. I want you to carry this personally to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, that he should heed the plea of kidney patients. Kidney patients. You know, we have about 700 people that need dialysis. Yesterday, I listened to the program, and the minister, the Kolebu Teaching Hospital man, plus the presidential advisor, were all talking about cost. Like A+ has said, we are in an era of double culture.
Not intolerance.
No, double culture. If it affects me, my language is different. If it affects you, your language is different. The part of this whole business that irritates me is the violation of all the provisions concerning media freedom in this country. I was a member of the Consultative Assembly, and when we were debating the media, because of our previous experiences, we made sure that we have made that provisions very, very watertight. So if you look at it, that's why you will call yourself the fourth estate, that after the executive, legislature, and the judiciary, media freedom is the next provision. You see how serious that is? And it's very, very clear. It doesn't need Kojo Nkrumah or anybody to interpret or misinterpret. As you rightly said, it says that in the performance of your functions, nobody Just like those in the MPP, when it's about electoral commission, nobody has right to interfere in the affairs of the EC. Media is one of the isolated organizations. It is one of the independent organizations in this country. Never mind that some of your own people have compromised your position. But by the provisions of the Constitution, you are just powerful if you wanted to discharge your duties. Now, nobody has the right to determine, interfere, or even, like he's saying, interpret the media and what they do.
How would you describe the letter written by the MPP?
It's a useless letter.
What?
Useless letter. You see?
What you are saying is almost like tearing the photocopy.
What is useless is useless. Please wait. The Constitution says that if you are unhappy with the conduct of any media house, you see, Roland, there's a Constitution in my hand, and it says that any medium in the dissemination of information to the public which publishes a statement about or against any person shall be obliged to publish a rejoinder, if any, from the person in respect of whom the publication was made.
That's 6.
6. This is the Constitution. Any other thing than this is a violation of the Constitution. Right? If it was that letter was written by NDC, I would still say it's a useless letter because it does not correspond or sit well with the Constitution. So even if it came from my party, I say it's a useless letter because it didn't mean to achieve anything. Listen, the NPP is saying that they are worried about what happened. People have just rushed there to give consolations and all those. Roland, are they genuine? Are these genuine? Because 4 days before that incident, you saw the deputy communication officer of the NPP, who is also the communication director of the Ghana Gas. And I think last time you showed the video, saying that the UTV program has deviated or the same terminology they are using. And that if it was at the time of the NDC, Imbobulunu would have gone to the station. If I'm lying, your production for this station, the production is so superb. They can show that video. They can show that video. You see, and my fear is that somebody showed Ahmed Swale's picture. Subsequently, he was killed. Shot. Another person sit there and say that, look, the UTV program is becoming something else because it is not, it is not being fair. It is against the president. And so Mmebunu should charge. Now eventually the Mmebunu charge, and you are now pontificating. My final point on this is that, look, if Kojo Opon-Nkrumah, my son, is now complaining about media public intolerance, then he has failed in his work. Because his duty as the Minister for Information is to inform people, not so educate people with the National Commission for Civic Education. That, look, how have you moved from culture of silence to culture of impunity? And now people are saying that, go to hell. Yeah, whatever it is, we will take the laws into our own hands. Roland, is it not recently that they said they have disbanded the vigilante? So these boys who went there have they not violated that law?
Okay, let me go to A+. Now let me quickly deal with you in the next few minutes.
Okay.
Based on the position that you hold, as well as the members of your panelists, the discussions that you continuously engaged in on the United Showbiz program, was it of a political nature and not entertainment, or it was the political side of entertainment?
Okay, so Roland, let me answer your question this way. I can walk into the studio and then you ask me, what do you think about Sarkodie? And I said, I think Akufo-Addo has failed. He's one of the worst presidents we have ever had. And it is the duty of the producer to say, these days, you are not answering show-based questions, so don't come on the show. It is for the host to say, I didn't ask you that question. What we are talking about is Sarkodie. That is not all, and it is the job of the viewer to just tune off and say, because of this, I don't want to watch that. There's too many TV stations around. What is anybody's business? Whether it has taken a political, how does that concern anybody? Are the sponsors complaining? Are the sponsors complaining? And if it has taken if it is a political, Roland, don't we have a minister for tourism and creative arts? So the creative arts is inside our politics. If the president goes to the Independence Square and is booed, and we come here, we come talk about the show that the president attended at the Independence Square, and you are telling me that we shouldn't talk about the booing. Let's just talk about the dancing and the music. How does that work? If you have Socrates Safo, who is the chairman of Creative Arts, I don't know even what his position is, on the show, and we are talking about the MPP promising in their manifesto that they are going to build theaters across the country in every region. They are going to give money for whatever. They are going to build studios. And we are discussing that this government has failed. This government has deceived us. This government has lied to us. When we say, what should we say? We should just play, we should put it into music. Roland, you see why when I began making music, I was doing politics. I didn't come into this scene to become to win BETU. I had something I wanted to say. When I was 20 years, I wanted to say something, and I wanted to say it on a beat. I've always look, from my childhood, I've always had something to say. 46 years, you want me to go to the studio and still make music for people to listen, or when I come on United Showbiz, I can say what I have to say. And in any case, Roland,
A plus, please.
Let me just do this in 30 seconds.
No, park and let's talk for the next few minutes. Then you can, please. Just park. Okay.
Oh, I'm packed.
Okay. Continue. Mm-hmm.
So, Roland.
Yes, sir.
The most popular journalist in this country, the so-called senior journalist in this country, they made their name under a military regime, under Rawlings. That's when we had the Kofi Kumsin, the Harun Atta, the Kweku Bakun, the Kwesi Pratt, under a military regime. This means that even under Rawlings, people were resisting attempts to deprive them of their right to freedom of expression. And today, 2023, you will come and tell me what to say and how to say it on TV.
Now, as we let you go,
and where?
Okay. A plus. As we let you go,
this.
As we let you go, A plus. What is your now final reaction to all that has been coming since the incident on Saturday night? That is from the MPP, from the minister or the Ministry of Information, from even some other colleague media personalities or journalists who seem to be justifying this action. What would be your final thoughts on this?
It's fine. I'm so happy. What has happened will prevent other people from coming to attack you in your studio. If we had allowed them to go on like this, I'm sure that by tomorrow, another group of boys will come to your studio to come and attack you. We are fighting for everybody. What has happened does not affect me, A+. When they came there, it took them 2 weeks to organize those people. In 30 minutes, I'd organized 3 pickup load of boys. Now they know. So I'm fighting for other people. So when you are in your studio, nobody will come and attack you. And let me say this. There is a station called Wontumi TV. There's a guy called Maurice Ampao on that station who insults me every day. And you know me, I may not agree with what you have to say about me, but I will defend to death your right to say it. Say it and go. I don't care. It's either I will listen to you, and there's nobody, including the hypocrite Ujo Ponkroma, who has come out to say, Maurice Ampao, please let's do national cohesion. That guy is insulting me every day. He said I even killed my father. Am I angry? Me, I don't care. I don't care what you have to say about me.
All right. I know that you're in the constituency. Which constituency is that? You announced that you are vying for a seat. So which constituency is that?
Gomwa Central.
Gomwa Central. So incoming Gomwa
Yes.
Central member of Parliament. You are signing as independent on your movement.
Independent is independent. And please, not incoming, please, honorable.
Okay.
Well, I've won already.
Honorable A+. Kwame, Charlie, we'll go talk later. Thank you, bro.
Thank you very much.
All right, bro.
Kwame, let's talk.
Now, how do you react to all this? Before I bring
On the lighter
Honorable
side,
Amidoyin.
let me tell my brother April that if you had won already, you'd have been in Parliament now, but you are not there, so you have not won.
acting honorable.
But he has a nice family. I was there to commiserate with
The
him.
funeral?
Yeah, I was there. Apparently, we thought that the Sunday was going to be the big do, as it's always the case with Akans. But I'm told that they are SDA, so they finished everything on the Saturday.
Kwame is SDA.
The parents.
The town.
Ah, okay.
Good morning to Ambassador Sampi Yale, the Honorable Chinya Amidu Isaku, and of course to yourself. Two things that I wanted to say as prelims before this is in support of what Ambassador Sampi Yale has said about the crossfire that is taking place in the Gaza Strip, where a lot of Ghanaians are caught up in that incident. I have seen a video already circulating where somebody is asking another person if they can access their Ghana cards. He said, no, they have run out of their place and they cannot pick any item. And they were just virtually helpless. Instead of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to be issuing statements and taking sides in a conflict that requires right-thinking persons to remain neutral, they have chosen as a ministry to take sides for Israel. The Palestinians have been many years brutalized, beaten, shredded. Our ministry has never issued a statement in support or sympathizing with the Palestinians. And all of a sudden, when it is said that some group of Palestinians, the Hamas group, decided to launch attack, then our ministry comes to issue a statement and even reaffirming its support for Israel. That is terrible. What we should be doing now is to be putting up everything to ensure the evacuation of Ghanaians. Some of them went there to go and pray, to go and touch the Wailing Wall, or what do you call that, so that their wishes can. That is what any concerned ministry should be doing. The second thing has to do with dialysis. And I think that instead of concentrating on cost, we should see how the monies that we have written off from the Bank of Ghana, some can be brought back to ensure that we are able to redeem the situation at the dialysis center at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, and of course across the country. Now fast forward to, I have seen, what do we call this? This is the banner headline. Which one is the banner headline?
The main one.
Which one is the main one?
The DJ got it all wrong.
And this is worthy. This is worthy of being a newspaper's headline, right? So somebody who is unhappy with this can walk into the studios or the production unit and go and say that, why did you do this, and start slapping everybody? Kolebu Teaching Hospital is 100 years plus. Common dialysis machines, I am told in the country we have about 14. We don't have. Kolebu is begging for resources to be able to contain itself. Have you seen hospitals outside of this country? In fact, when you are sick and you appear in some hospital, the environment alone heals you.
UGMC.
The environment alone heals you, right? Now, if you go to Kolebu and they tell you that it's a hospital, on seeing Kolebu, you will die before you even enter. Those are the things that should capture newspaper headlines.
Sure.
Right? Those are sensitive. It borders on all of us. Not that GJ got it all wrong. And that is about the Minister for Information or Misinformation telling us what GJ should have said. The Ghana Journalists Association cannot speak their mind.
No.
And that captures a newspaper's headline. And we are not angry. We are sick as a nation. We are sick. Somebody goes to a studio. Roland, as you asked me the question, you wanted me to talk about what has happened at United TV, not so, and
all the reactions.
The reactions. I chose to go and start from what is happening in Israel and to come to Kolebu Teaching Hospital. So somebody outside will be happy to come and beat me and you, attack us in the studio, because the question was put as to whether we are deteriorating in media freedom. And I chose to answer. I mean, what sense